Today we will be doing all 200cc shortcuts in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. First up we got Mario Kart Stadium. So the first one is just here. You can use a mushroom, cut across. Second one here, use another mushroom. And then the last one is this shortcut here. You can actually even use your glider to cut across. And there we go, that's Mario Kart Stadium. Okay, water park. So there's actually one shortcut on this track. It's just over here, use a mushroom and cut through the cupcakes. Okay, Sweet Canyon. And the Sweet Canyon here at the end, you can just use a mushroom and cut through the donut. Thwomp Ruins. There's one just at the start here. Use a mushroom and cut across the grass. And the second one is up here. Just fall off the track and then jump onto that platform in the air. Starting off the Flower Cup, we got Mario Circuit. Okay, the first one's just up here. You can use a mushroom, cut across the whole grass area. Okay, here's the second one. You just cut across the sand with a mushroom. That's all the shortcuts for Mario Circuit. Okay, Toad Harbor. There's one at the start here. You can just hop over the grass. The other one is here at the end. Just use a mushroom and cut across the grass. That's all the shortcuts for Toad Harbor. Okay, Twisted Mansion. There's one just here. Go through the bookshelf. And the other one's here at the end. You can just cut across the grass with a mushroom. We got Shy Guy Falls. And the only shortcut is here at the end here. You can just jump with the mushroom. Sunshine Airport. First shortcut's just here. Use a mushroom, hop against that island. And the last one's here at the end. You can just use a mushroom and hop against the bags. And the shortcut is just here at the end. If you use a mushroom, you can cut across this bit of off-road. Electrodrome. So the first one's here, you can use a mushroom, cut across that off-road. And the last one's here at the end, you can just use a mushroom and cut through the pipes. Mount Wario. First one's over here, you can just hop along that gap. The second one is here, go through the trees, and you can get the glider. The last one's over here at the end, you can just cut through the off-road. We got Cloud Top Cruise. The first one's just over here. You can bounce off the bouncy pad. And the second one's here at these leaves. You can just hop along them. We got Bone Dry Dunes. So there's one right at the start. Just cut across that sand. And the last one's over here. You can just cut through these bones. Up next is Bowser's Castle. Now the only shortcut is at the end here. You can just use a mushroom and cut across the off-road. Okay, Rainbow Road. Okay, and the only shortcut on this track is right here. So use a mushroom and cut across the off-road. We got Yoshi Circuit. Now there's a few shortcuts on this track. First one's here, you can just go through the waterfall. The second one's over here, cut through the piranha plants. And the last one's here at the end, you can just cut through the off-road there. So we got Excite Bike Arena. There's two shortcuts on this track. Here at this end, you can just use a mushroom, cut through the off-road, and do the same thing at this end. Okay, we got Dragon Driftway. First shortcut is over here, use a mushroom. Second one, you can just hop over there. And then the last one's over here, cut across this big patch of grass. Okay, Mute City. Okay, the only shortcut on Mute City is here. Use a mushroom, and then you can fly along here. We got Baby Park. First one's here, you can just hop across the grass. Second one's at this end, you can just hop across the grass again. That's all the shortcuts for Baby Park. GBA Cheeseland. First one's here, just cut through the cheese. And then the second one's here, go on this glider. You can glide to the second glider. We got Wild Woods. Now the only shortcut for this track is up here. You can just use a mushroom and get across the off-road. We got Animal Crossing in summer. So the first one's over here, just use a mushroom, cut across the off-road. And the last one's over here, you can just use a mushroom, get across the off-road. Starting off a new cup, we got Moo Moo Meadows. So the first one's here, use a mushroom. Second one's here, you can use another mushroom to cut across the off-road. And that's all the shortcuts for Moo Moo Meadows. Next up we got Mario Circuit. First shortcut, right at the start here, just take that cut across the off-road. Second one's over here, you can go through the trees and then glide. And that's all the shortcuts for Mario Circuit. Cheap Cheap Beach. So the first one's here, you can just come underwater and cut across the off-road there. The second one's here, you can just cut across the mud. And that's all the shortcuts for Cheap Cheap Beach. We got Toad's Turpin Bike. So there's actually no shortcuts on this track. Okay, Dry Desert. First one's over here, you can just cut across the off-road. Okay, and the last one is over here, you can just cut across the off-road. We got Donut Plains. First one's here, you can just cut across the off-road. The second one's over here, cut across this off-road using a mushroom. And the last one's here, you can just come through these walls. We got Royal Raceway. This track has quite a few. The first one's over here. You can just cut across the off-road and go to the boost panel. And then the last one's here at the end. You can just cut across the off-road. And that's all the shortcuts for Royal Raceway. We got DK Jungle. So the first one's over here. You can just come over here and get the glider. The last one is here. You can cut across there and go onto this platform. Starting off the Leaf Cup, we got Wario Stadium. So actually the only shortcut on this track is just over here. You can cut across the off-road with a mushroom. Sherbet Land. The first one's at the start here. You can use a mushroom, get across the off-road. Second one is here, cut across this. And then the last one is here. You can just jump across here and get the glider. We got Melody Motorway or Music Park. First one's here at the start, just cut across that off-road. Second one's here, you can just jump across that ramp. And the last one's here, you can just go on this bounce pad and take the shortcut. Yoshi Valley. First one's here at the start, just cut across the off-road. And the last one's here, you can just cut across the off-road using a mushroom. Next up is Tick-Tock Clock. So the first one's here, you can just come across this clock. Now the second one's the same sort of idea. Just jump across that clock. And that's all the shortcuts for Tick-Tock Clock. Piranha Plant Pipeway. So the first one's here, you can just use a mushroom and cut across the grass. Now that's actually the only one. We got Grumble Volcano. So the only shortcut on this track is actually on lap 3. You can use a mushroom, jump across here. We got N64 Rainbow Road. It turns out this track actually doesn't have any shortcuts. We got Wario's Gold Mine. This track only has one shortcut, which is here. You can just take this path, which leads you to lots of dash panels. That's all the shortcuts for Wario's Gold Mine. SNES Rainbow Road. Now the only shortcut for this track is right here, and that's all the shortcuts for Rainbow Road. We got Ice Outposts. There's actually a lot of shortcuts on this track. So the first one's over here. You can just come through here and flip off the icicles. Now the second one is here. You can just drop down here, which takes you to a secret path. And the last one's over here. You can just flip off the ice posts. Hyrule Circuit. The first one's here, cut across the grass. And the other one is here, you can just cut through the trees. Starting off the Bell Cup, we got Neo Bowser City. We got the first one over here, you can just cut across the off-road. And then the second one is here, you can glide onto the air vent and land back on the track. We got Ribbon Road. First one's over here, just cut across the off-road. Second one's here, same sort of thing, cut across the off-road. Third one's here, can go on the boost panels. The fourth one's here, can just land on these blocks and then glide. And finally the last one is here, you can use a mushroom and cut across the off-road. And that's all the shortcuts for Ribbon Road. We got Super Bell Subway. First one's over here, you can just use a mushroom and cut across the off-road. And then the last one's over here, just cut across this grass. And that's all the shortcuts for Super Bell Subway. And lastly, we got Big Blue. So you guys know what time it is. It's time for the Big Blue Ultra shortcut. But firstly, it's a shortcut there, and also one here. You can just do the same sort of thing. And we got the Big Blue Ultra shortcut. That is the Big Blue Ultra shortcut. I will see you guys next time. Make sure to like and subscribe. Goodbye.